Good morning, all of you. Now, let's start with another chapter. In previous lecture, we have studied about the introduction of the subject, mechanics of solids. In that lecture, we have understand about the what is mechanics, what is applied mechanics, fundamental principles of mechanics, and units and its system. Now, we are going to study about the coplanar concurrent forces. Actually, what is coplanar? What is concurrent? That we will discuss afterward. But first, we have to understand about the force. So, what is force? We know what is force, but now we are going to study about the force in detail. So, what is force? When the acting force in line of action lies in the same plane and meeting at a point to each other said to be coplanar concurrent forces. But first we have to understand about the force. When we are going to apply external effort to the any particular body, when that body going to move, that is called force. Do you know what is force? In 11th, 12th physics, you have studied about the force. Do you remember that? What is force? Yeah, good. So, whenever we are going to apply external efforts, that is called force, that we know. But in detail, if we are going to study, then what is force? An agent which produces or tends to produce, destroys or tends to destroy motion of the body is called force. मीन्स अगर किसी भी एलिमेंट को या किसी भी बॉडी को मूव करने के लिए और टेंड्स टू डिस्ट्रॉय यानी उसके मूवमेंट को रोकने के लिए जो भी एजेंट वर्क कर रहा है, दैट इज कॉल्ड फोर्स. नाउ द फाउंडर ऑफ दिस फोर्स is Newton. So, unit of the force, that is Newton. Force is a vector quantity that we know. 1 Newton force is what? A force which can produce an acceleration of 1 meter per second square in a mass of 1 kg is called 1 Newton force. And what is 1 kg force? A force which can produce an acceleration of g meter per second square in a mass of 1 kg is called 1 kg force. Means 1 kg is equal to 9.81 Newton. This g is equal to 9.81, that we know. So 1 kg is equal to 9.81 Newton. That we have to remember afterwards also. Now, हमने कभी फोर्स तो देखा नहीं, फोर्स कभी ऐसे रोड पे नहीं घूमते, फोर्स हम महसूस कर सकते हैं। तो फोर्स को कैसे पहचानेंगे अगर हम उसको देख भी नहीं सकते तो? सो फॉर दैट वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड इट्स कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स। फोर्स कैसा होता है? तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, मैग्नीट्यूड, द वैल्यू ऑफ फोर्स, right? Magnitude of a force may be 10 kilonewton, 50 kilonewton, 200 kilonewton, whatever. Means the value of force, intensity of force, that is called magnitude. Second one, direction, whether it is upward, downward, leftward, rightward, whatever. Means along OX towards the north, or else at 30 degree from west to north. So it is a direction. Third one is the nature. There are two type of nature. First one is compressive and second one is tensile. Compression means it is a push type, and tensile means it is a pull type. And number 4, that is point of application. On which point it is acting, a point at which the force act on a body is called point of application. So this fourth thing is the characteristic of force. From that we can understand this is force. Now, types of forces. First one is contact force or else surface force. Second one is body force. In that case, there are two types in body force. First one is gravitation and second one is magnetic force. These two force is applied on whole body. That's why it is called body force also. Point force and distributed force means a force is acting on a single point of body, that is called point force. But a force that is distributed on whole body, that is distributed force. External force and internal force. Suppose we are going to sit on a chair, then our force is external force for the chair, but chair is going to support us, means internal force that applied by chair on us, that is internal force for the supporting or for the balancing the whole system. That's why in Newton's third law we understand that actions and reactions are always same. Means another force, that is action. My force for the chair, that is action, and chair is going to balance me, that is reaction, and both are same. That's why we are going to sitting on the stable position of chair. And next one is friction, that we know, and you have to understand that Gharshan, wind force, hydrostatic force, means due to water a force is applied on the body, that is for hydrostatic force. Cohesion and adhesion, that is acting on a molecule. Thermal forces, that due to temperature variation. Thermal force is due to temperature variation. Now what is mass and weight? That we know. Mass is a matter constraint in a body. It is the matter of content in a body. It is the gravitational force acting on the center of gravity of body. Right? Good. That you have studied in a previous physics and all. Now, the most important, that is system of forces. And we have a number of system. First one is coplanar force. What it means? Plane, we know that we have a body having three direction, x, y and z. That's why it is called body. Right? In that body we have total 6 plane, and from that 6 plane a force is acting on a single plane, that is coplanar forces. Second one is concurrent force, means forces are acting on a single point of body, that is called concurrent forces. Number 3, collinear force, means forces are acting in a single line, that is collinear forces. Now we have to take the combination of these two, that is coplanar concurrent forces, means forces are acting on single point and on a single plane, that is called coplanar concurrent forces. Now coplanar non-concurrent forces means forces are acting on a same plane but the directions are different, that is called coplanar non-concurrent forces. Then non-coplanar concurrent means forces are concurrent, means they all are acting on a single point, but non-coplanar means it is coming from the different planes. Suppose we have one room and corner of that room, whether it is bottom corner or else it is a top corner of that room, and forces coming from ceiling and two walls and acting on a junction, that is called non-coplanar concurrent forces. Now non-coplanar and non-concurrent means forces are acting in different direction as well as from different planes. It is called non-coplanar non-concurrent forces. Next one is like parallel forces, means forces are acting parallel to each other, but like parallel means direction of that forces are same. If there are 4 forces, all that forces going to upward parallel to each other, that is called like parallel forces. Next one is unlike parallel forces, means forces are acting parallel to each other but the directions are different. The same thing, all these kind of forces acting in a space also, that forces are known as spatial forces, means forces are acting in a space, that is called spatial forces. Next one is spatial concurrent forces, means forces are acting in a space but they are acting on a single point, right? Like it is an example of parachute. Next one is spatial non-concurrent forces but like parallel force system, means forces are acting in a space. Non-concurrent means they are acting on a different points. but it is a like parallel forces, means it is parallel to each other in a same direction. Next one is PTL concurrent forces, but it is unlike parallel. The same things, but direction of forces are different over here as compared to number 12. Clear? So these are the force systems is there, and from there we are going to study in this chapter, that is coplanar concurrent forces. Means in this chapter we are going to study about the only that forces are acting in a same plane as well as it is in a same point. So this kind of forces are studied in this chapter. Now the next one is principle of physical independence of the forces. That we know physical independence means what it states. If a number of forces acting simultaneously on a particle, simultaneously means acting at the same time, then each one of them will produce the same effect on which it would have done while acting alone. Let me clear. If a number of forces acting simultaneously on particle means एक साथ किसी भी बॉडी पे 5 फोर्सेस एक्ट हुए हैं, देन ईच ऑफ देम, उनमें से कोई एक विल प्रोड्यूस द सेम इफेक्ट विच वुड हैव बी डन व्हाइल एक्टिंग अलोन. मीन्स इंडिविजुअली जिसकी जितनी कैपेसिटी है वो अगर सबके साथ लगते हैं या अकेले लगते हैं, उसकी कैपेसिटी कभी चेंज नहीं होगी. समझो, एक साथ मैंने 20 किलो न्यूटन के 5 फोर्स किसी बॉडी पे लगा दिए, उसमें से एक साथ बॉडी पे 5 फोर्सेस लगे तो कुल मिला के टोटल फोर्स 100 किलो न्यूटन एक्ट हुआ, दैट वी नो. बट अगर मैं इंडिविजुअल को कैलकुलेट करूँ तो एक की कैपेसिटी 20 है, अगर वो अकेला लगेगा तो भी वो 20 होगी और सब एक साथ लगेंगे तो भी उस अकेले की तो 20 ही किलो न्यूटन की कैपेसिटी होगी. क्लियर? गुड. नाउ प्रिंसिपल ऑफ सुपरपोजिशन ऑफ फोर्सेस, दिस इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर द आवर सब्जेक्ट. टू इक्वल opposite and collinear forces are added to or removed from the system, then there will be no change in a system, that is called superposition of that force. Suppose मैं कोई चीज़ को खींच रहा हूँ, आपने वो रस्सी खींच वाली गेम देखी है ना. अगर कोई एक टीम रस्सी खींचेगा तो वो हजारों किलोमीटर तक चला जाएगा, बट दो ऑपोजिशन पार्टी वो रस्सी खींच रही है तो क्या होगा, उसकी पोजीशन में माइनर सा चेंज आएगा. यहाँ हमें क्या कंसिडर करना है, वो वहीं के वहीं रहेगी. दोनों साइड से 100 किलो न्यूटन का फोर्स अगर लग रहा है तो वो वहीं की वहीं रहेगी. देयर विल बी अ नो चेंज इन दैट पोजीशन, दैट इज कॉल्ड सुपरपोजिशन. Clear? Okay. Now again the thing that is most important, principles of transmissibility of forces. What it means? आप सबने सुना होगा ट्रांसमिसिबिलिटी. मतलब क्या है? What is transmissibility? Transmissibility means to transmit from one point to another point. Here we are going to talking about only the force. Means फोर्स वन पॉइंट से अनदर पॉइंट ट्रांसमिट होने वाला है. राइट? चलो, तो अब उसका स्टेटमेंट समझते हैं. व्हाट इट मीन्स? इट स्टेट्स दैट if a force at any point on a rigid body, it may be considered to act at any other point on its line of action, provide the point it rigidly connected with the body. Let me explain. Whenever we are going to push a chair, then it will be moved. But suppose I have put 3 chairs in a row and I am going to apply force on one of the chair and all 3 chairs are going to move. Means हमने तो एक ही चेयर पे फोर्स लगाया है, बट चेयर इज अ रिजिड बॉडी एंड हमने एक रिजिड बॉडी को फोर्स लगाया है, तो उसके साथ कनेक्ट होने वाली सारी भी चेयर मूव होगी बिकॉज ऑफ इट ट्रांसमिट माय फोर्स टू फर्स्ट सेकंड एंड अप टू द थर्ड चेयर. मीन्स इट इज ट्रांसमिसिबिलिटी ऑफ फोर्सेस. एक और एग्जांपल मैं आपको देता हूँ. आप सबने साउथ के मूवीज तो देखे हैं. उसमें क्या होता है बेसिकली, साउथ के मूवी में हीरो एक ही विलन को फोर्स लगाता है, तो सारे विलन एक साथ दूर तक चले जाते हैं बिकॉज फोर्स आर ट्रांसमिटेड. सारे विलन एक साथ लाइन में खड़े हैं, पहले वाले को वो फोर्स लगाए तो लास्ट वाले को भी फोर्स लगेगा क्योंकि द विलन्स आर रिजिड. एंड एक को फोर्स लगाया तो जितने भी साथ में खड़े सबको फोर्स लगा. दैट इज ट्रांसमिसिबिलिटी. वन रिजिड बॉडी टू लास्ट रिजिड बॉडी तक हमारा फोर्स ट्रांसफर हुआ. दैट इज ट्रांसमिसिबिलिटी ऑफ फोर्स. बट it is applicable only for the rigid bodies. Now next, according to this law, a force acting on a rigid body can be shifted along its line of action. A push force can be converted into the pull force. That is, nature of force can be changed. Clear? So this is the principle of transmissibility, and we are going to complete the topic over here, and we will discuss next thing in a next lecture. Thank you very much.